Good evening and welcome. You're with the News First, your number one news provider. I'm Shamil Rasoodi.
And I'm Krishna Pandikarathna.
3 years and 3 days after being ousted from the post of Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd was reinstated to Australia's top position today.
More details on the News First International Desk. Before that, here's a look at the headlines.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa on a 5-day official visit to Tanzania and Seychelles. Resolution passed at the North Central Provincial Council in support of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Quintuplets born at the Kandy General Hospital. National electricity grid has lost nearly 140 megawatts due to faults in generating electricity from the Victoria and Kukuleganga hydro power plants.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who left the country on a 5-day official visit to Tanzania and the Seychelles, arrived at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Tanzania this morning. The presidential spokesperson and international media unit said that President Rajapaksa and his entourage were welcomed by the President of Tanzania, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. This is incidentally President Rajapaksa's first state visit to Tanzania and the Seychelles, and is also the first ever visit undertaken by a Sri Lankan head of state to Tanzania. President Rajapaksa is scheduled to hold bilateral discussions with his Tanzanian counterpart and will also attend the Inter-Nation Cooperation Forum in the Tanzanian city of Dar es Salaam.
The national electricity grid has lost nearly 140 megawatts due to faults in generating electricity from the Victoria and Kukuleganga hydro power plants. The Ceylon Electricity Board said that it requires 2 weeks to restore the Kukuleganga hydro power plant.
The spill gates of the Kukuleganga and Victoria reservoirs were opened over the past few days due to heavy rains. However, one of 3 turbines at the Victoria reservoir, which generates 70 megawatts each, was decommissioned for maintenance. 2 turbines at the Kukuleganga power plant with the capacity to generate 35 megawatts were decommissioned recently for maintenance. Thereby, the national grid has lost a capacity of nearly 140 megawatts. Ceylon Electricity Board data indicate that around 2000 megawatts is required for the national grid, as there is a high consumer demand for electricity from 6 pm to 10 pm. When active, all hydro power plants generate 1250 megawatts to the national grid. Thereby, the national grid has so far lost nearly 140 megawatts. Recently, the Sri Lanka Energy Forum pointed out that in this backdrop, electricity will have to be generated from other sources to meet the high demand. The cost to generate a unit of thermal electricity is 24 rupees. Therefore, if the 140 megawatts that is being lost due to the decommissioned Victoria and Kukuleganga power plants has to be obtained through thermal power plants, a daily sum of 80 million rupees will have to be spent to generate 140 megawatts of thermal electricity. However, the Additional General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board, MC Vikramasekaran, notes that hydroelectricity is being generated at a maximum capacity. He added that the stalled power plants will also be restored immediately. The Additional General Manager also said that the CEB does not suffer considerable loss due to the stalled power plants.
The families of 6 women whose lives were snatched in a collision involving a train and a van in Alutkama have been stricken with grief and overwhelming sorrow.
On Tuesday night, a van carrying a group of people who were en route to witness Posan festivities collided with an express train plying from Maradana to Hikkaduwa. The accident took place at an unguarded level crossing close to the Alutkama train station. The bodies of the 6 persons who were killed in the crash are currently lying at their residences. One of the victims, 22-year-old Lakshmi Madhushani, had entered married life about a month ago. Her sister-in-law, 14-year-old Binaramalli Baduantudawa, also died in the accident. The final rites for Binaramalli was held at the Viharamulla Public Cemetery today. This is Lakshmi Madhushani's family home located in Doyangoda, Matugama. Her mother, 56-year-old KK Raji, and Rashmi Kavishani, who was Lakshmi's 20-year-old sister, lost their lives in the accident. The body of Lakshmi Madhushani was brought to her parents' house from her husband's house today. This house, located at the Ambagahakumra area in Dodangoda, belongs to the driver of the ill-fated van. His wife, 39-year-old J.H. Dhammika, and their 13-year-old daughter Dineshika Madhushani were killed in the incident.
You may recall a number of fatal accidents that have occurred at unguarded level crossings in the recent past. The following is a report about the efforts made by a villager from Gammaddegoda in Rathkama to find a solution to this problem at a time when solutions are not being provided by the relevant authorities.
The unguarded level crossing in Vijayaratnamawatha in Gammaddegoda has claimed the lives of 13 people. Sunil Kumara set up this bamboo gate at the level crossing in a bid to prevent further loss of life. Since then, Kumara took it upon himself to operate the bamboo gates. However, he is now preparing to give up this duty.
ජීවිතයක් බේරා ගන්නවා කියන එක තමයි මගේ පපාන දෙන එක මම දැම්මෙත් මෙතන. ඇත්තටම මේ පැත්ත මම ගොඩක් සතුටු වෙනවා. මට ඉතින් උදව් කරන්න
I am a father of two. I have no income. I cannot do another job because of this gate. At first the villagers collected money and gave it to me. That does not happen anymore.
In a bid to make access to news more convenient, News First launched a new version of our website which is optimized specially to mobile phones. Any smartphone user can log on to our new News First mobile website via www.newsfirst.lk.
Since the birth of computer to internet era, lifestyle of people have changed. So, the next step of News First to reaching you is mobile compatible website. You can easily log into newsfirst.lk from your smartphone. You'll get this mobile friendly website where you can access to breaking news, latest news, and even to our live stream.
At newsfirst.lk, we constantly strive to bring you the news experience on the run when you are mobile. As such, we did launch News First 2.0 last year, which gave you the mobile app experience on Apple and Android devices. And right now, we are launching a new mobile optimized version of newsfirst.lk. Now, if you were to look at newsfirst.lk on a desktop PC, it would be very different to what you would see on a mobile. The whole mobile experience of the site is concise and precise. The stories as well have been summarized to give you the top stories available for that day.
A tense situation arose between locals and a group of people that entered the premises of the Digavapiya Vihara in Ampara. A police officer who had visited the location to resolve the issue was injured in the incident and has been hospitalized.
According to the area residents, a group of persons who had arrived at the Digavapiya Vihara had allegedly taken footage of the area without obtaining any permission. The locals had later informed the police about this incident, and our correspondent said that the individuals were taken to a police post in the area. A tense situation arose when the police attempted to release the individuals. The police said that a jeep was damaged when stones were hurled at them. A special police team was dispatched to the area to bring the situation under control. A senior police officer from the Ampara area said that investigations have been launched into the incident.
You're with the News First. Let me tell you a story about what's happening elsewhere in the country now. Quintuplets were born at the Kandy General Hospital today. Let's take a look at the footage.
Director of the Kandy General Hospital, Dr. W.G. Disanayaka, said that a 31-year-old woman named Fatima from Madavela gave birth to the quintuplets. What's more significant is that this was the first time that she had conceived. 4 of the quintuplets are boys. The director of the hospital said the children were born by cesarean section at 12:12 this afternoon after 24 months of being conceived. Each of the quintuplets weigh 800 grams and have been directed to the premature baby unit. According to the director of the hospital, 3 infants are continuing to receive treatment at the premature baby unit at the hospital. Due to the lack of space at the premature baby unit at the Kandy General Hospital, one of the quintuplets was transferred to the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital, while another baby was transferred to the premature baby unit at the Bandaranaike Children's Hospital in Peradeniya. The director of the hospital said that the quintuplets and the mother are in good health condition.
Speaking at a media briefing today, parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayake commented on casinos.
Like I said, when this government has failed to bring in investments to the country, and when investors leave the country, they bring businessmen involved in the casino industry to show that investments are flowing to the country. We are asking the government whether any licenses were secretly granted for casinos, because no licenses were issued by the United National Party, nor during the Chandrika Kumaratunga regime. There are 6 casinos operating in the country. The government must inform the people about this. We do not need casinos to showcase our economy.
Tonight on Words of Wisdom, we bring you a quote from ancient Greece stated by philosopher and mathematician Plato. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. Plato, Greek philosopher. 3 years and 3 days after being ousted from the post of Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd was reinstated to Australia's top position today when he was sworn in as the new Prime Minister, a day after he ousted Julia Gillard as the leader of the Labour Party.
Mr. Rudd, good morning. I invite you to take and subscribe the oath of office as Prime Minister.
I, Kevin Michael Rudd, do swear that I will well and truly serve the Commonwealth of Australia, her land and her people in the office of Prime Minister. So help me God.
Would you sign the document there?
Kevin Rudd took the oath at the Government House in front of Governor-General Quintuplets Born. Rudd returned to lead Australia's government 3 years and 3 days after he was toppled in a similar Labour leadership contest. Rudd returned to Australia's government 3 years and 3 days after he was toppled in a similar Labour leadership contest by Julia Gillard, who was then his deputy. He secured 57 votes to Gillard's 45 in yesterday's vote, which followed months of speculation and bitter infighting over who should lead Labour in the forthcoming election.
I'll do my absolute best.
Opinion polls have suggested Labour would suffer a crushing defeat, but Rudd is more popular with voters than Gillard, and many believe the party would perform better under him.
The House. Speaker, I informed the House that last evening the Federal Parliamentary Labor Party elected me as the Federal Labor Leader and the member for Grayndler as the Deputy.
Kevin Rudd then addressed Parliament briefly, paying tribute to Gillard, who is stepping down from politics.
The Governor-General has commissioned me as the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Australia.
Meanwhile, the Australian public expressed mixed reactions at the appointment of Kevin Rudd.
Yes, I think it's great redemption. He planned out his attack very carefully for a long period of time, and I think he deserves everything he gets.
I just think it's a mockery. I think it's, this wouldn't happen in other countries, other democratic countries around the world, and I think it's just been made a joke out of, really. And I think a lot of people around the world are talking about it, and it's not going to reflect positively upon the Australian society.
I think she tried to get things done in a very hard parliament. She had everyone, including the Rupert Murdoch press, against her for the last 3 years, which I think was terrible. She just didn't have a chance right from the start,
Because Australians don't accept female Prime Minister, my dear. They don't. They don't accept. Now why? Well, you ask them. The Australian culture, they don't accept female Prime Minister.